Hey guys, what's up? This is Eric from Tower Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing kind of an impromptu video on how Apple has evolved from its first generation iPhone to its latest flagship smartphone, the iPhone 5S. So we're going to be going over some hardware and a little bit of software aspects of both phones and showing how Apple has stayed the same with its consistent look and also evolved over the last about 5 years. So here we have the first generation iPhone. It has an aluminum design with some plastic on the bottom and then obviously the glass front. It's a little bit less cohesive, actually a ton less cohesive than the newest iPhone. It has a 320 by 480 resolution display. Has classic home button, lock button, top placed SIM card tray as well as headphone jack. It has on the left the volume rocker and the toggle for the stand for silent and vibrate. On the bottom it has the 30-pin dock connector as well as stereo speakers. So the phone itself is running 3.1.3 right now. That's the highest form of iOS that this phone can support. It has a Samsung 412 megahertz processor, so from the Stone Ages pretty much. Has 128 megabytes of RAM. This phone works solely on Edge, so for those of you who are too young to remember what it is, it's what came before 3G. It was extremely slow. I guess it was fast in the time, but that's what it does run on. It does have Wi-Fi, but we're going to do a test quickly and you're going to see how much slower it is than the 5S, a combination of the Wi-Fi technology as well as the processor that's housed inside. It has a 2 megapixel camera on the back, which is just dismal, and it only takes still photos, so video was not even present until the iPhone 3GS. There's obviously no front-facing camera, and it's just overall a very, very simple phone compared to the 5S. So here we have Apple's flagship device, the 5S. It was released about 5 years after the original iPhone. As for the design of the phone, the physical design, it's a unibody aluminum and glass. It's so much more solid than the original iPhone. It's going to hold up a lot better. If you could see the state of the iPhone, the original iPhone that I have, it's completely destroyed. The aluminum is warped. It doesn't even really fit on the phone anymore. That's never going to happen to this device. It's just a lot more soundly built with just better materials overall. It feels a lot better in the hand, and you can tell that Apple really has worked on perfecting its design over the past 5 years. It sports the increased size 4-inch compared to the 3.5-inch display Retina display on this one. It has an 1136 by 640 pixel resolution, which just is a night and day difference between the original display. When you look around the phone though, it generally looks the same. It has the same rocker, the same toggle switch for vibrate and ringer, the same placement for the lock button, the same home button placement. So you can see a cohesive look that Apple has maintained throughout its slew of devices that it's come out with in the last five or so years. But obviously inside it's changed completely. It's a lot more powerful. The networking capabilities are vastly improved. This is sporting a 1.3 gigahertz dual-core 64-bit A7 chip that's designed by Apple alongside the M7 Motion coprocessor, which just is amazing for all the graphics and just running this brand new iOS 7, which is the latest update of iOS that Apple has released for its smartphones. It has different things like the Touch ID sensor. It has a front-facing camera, which the first one did not have. It has an 8 megapixel rear-facing camera that now records in 1080p video, where the first iPhone didn't even record video. So the changes are huge. Alright, so here we have the phones side by side. We're going to be doing a few quick tests, the power down, the power up, and then a few Safari tests just to see how the phones perform and how they compare to each other. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is the power down test. Alright, so here we go. that the phones are completely and fully powered down, we're going to go ahead and power them back up. Or we're going to attempt to power them back up at the same time, because this button's pretty bad on the first generation. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so now both phones are powered up and ready to go. Just a few notes. Obviously the 5S was considerably faster, and also you could see that the Retina display had much truer blacks, so overall the display is going to be a lot better on the 5S, like I stated previously. So now we're going to go ahead and do some Safari tests. We already cleared the cache, the cookies, and the history on both of the devices, so you guys don't have to be burdened with watching that. So everything is cleared. We're going to go ahead and test 1 or 2 websites and just show you the performance difference between the 2 devices. So we're going to go ahead and open Safari on both devices. We are going to type in the website New York Times, which has a pretty good amount of content to load. So it should give us a good idea of what each phone can do. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so as you can see, the iPhone 5S has been done for quite some time now, and the original iPhone is still on the Google screen that it started on. It's getting there. It's almost there. So, I mean, you're already ready to go on the 5S. You have some beautiful scrolling abilities. And it looks like the iPhone first generation is almost there. It's loaded most of the content, but it still looks like it's loading some of the in-website ads as well as possibly some of the pictures. You do have limited scrolling ability right now, extremely pixelated, and you see a lot of tiling on the bottom when you go up and down. So as you can see, both phones side by side, you're going to be a lot better off with the 5S, which you guys would know, but we just want to give you a quick demonstration of how these phones perform next to each other. So that is the comparison between the first generation iPhone and the 5S. If you guys like videos like this, the unorthodox type video that is different from the normal reviewer unboxing, be sure to comment, like, and then subscribe if you really, really like listening to my voice. Have a great rest of your day.